Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Are you wondering why I'm not wearing any makeup on my eyes, no bronzer, no blush, no brows, no nothing? It's because we're talking about step one, foundation concealer powder. This is my current routine of how I apply it, little tips and tricks, skincare, a little discussion on that, primers, that kind of thing. Yeah, if you want to see how I have been applying my base product, then keep on watching. Even though it always goes without saying, you need to tailor the products to your own skin type. So if you're new today and you don't know what I have for a skin type, I do generally have more of a normal to oily skin type. I do also have some dehydration. I get some dry patches. I'm kind of one of those people that has every skin type known to man on this face. I have texture, I have redness, I have sun damage, I have, darkness under the eyes, I don't have a completely even skin tone. I have some blue veining. I have a lot of different skin issues. I don't suffer from acne, but I did get a little pimple here. I had an extraction done there. I have blackheads. I have very large pores in my T-zone. So I do not have perfect skin. I am 35. Well, I'll be 35 in several weeks, but I'm at that age where things are starting to show on my skin for aging. And so you're going to want to tailor this to yourself. You may see others on YouTube that put very heavy layers of powder or bake under the eyes. That's not always going to work for someone with aging skin. I think a lot of these influencers are a lot younger and they can get away with it. So if you're maybe in your teens, you're in your 20s, you haven't suffered from the, dryness or crepiness on the eyes, you can do those types of things. I did also post a video not too long ago, or last week I think it was, and I showed half my face being more trend side and the more like real person side. And so a lot of that will carry through as well. I'll link that below, so if you're interested in watching that. But the first thing I want to do is I always go in with my skincare. So I've already done that. I'm not going to show that in this video. Do your skincare routine, whatever it may be for your skin type. The first thing I'm going to use is actually a facial mist. It can be a type of hydrating one, it could be a mattifying one. So for me, I want to do a little bit more hydration. So I'm grabbing the Badescu. This is their facial spray with aloe herbs and rose water. Now you can use, they have another one. It's more like a green blue. Which one is that? I can't even remember right now. But I like this one. I have a big bottle of it. It's actually quite inexpensive, even though Badescu's line is a little bit more higher end. But this just feels so good and very calming too because of that rose water. So I'm just going to spritz my face with that. So I just kind of pat in any excess and press it into the skin. I also want to use a lip treatment too that's going to sink in and keep my lips nice and hydrated until I go in with my lip product. So I'm going to use my favorite, and this is a sleeping mask that you use overnight, but I use it all the time. It's from Laneige, and this is their Special Care Lip Sleeping Mask. I love this so much. I mean, you get a big tub of this product, and I've used quite a bit. It smells good too. And I really just slather this on. All right, so the next thing, even though I said I already went through my skincare routine, I've done my eye serums and that kind of thing, I actually do put on some more right before I'm about to put my makeup on, because it depends. If I just do my skincare routine and then go do my makeup, yes, maybe not. But it's been several hours since I have done that, so I want to kind of freshen up the under eyes. So I'm going to grab my Caudelie. This is their Vine line. It is just a glow activating anti-wrinkle serum. I like to use this. You can use this everywhere, face, neck, décolleté. I actually like to use it under my eyes, and I like to just pat that, especially around the eyes where you get that little bit of crow's feet, just gently gliding it. I'm not even tugging at the skin. You can't even see the skin pulling. I'm just letting that product glide with my fingers. This is really nice and soothing too if you have puffy under eyes. And just, I'm going to dab, 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 take a little bit on the actual lids and through the brow right here. And I'm just really focusing it more on this orbital area. Oh, it feels so nice. You can put this in your fridge too. All right, let's go on to some primers. Now, this one is not necessarily a primer, but I use it more for the glow. And this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glo-tion. Now, this is new to their line. I've already used it in a couple videos, I believe. This is just going to be a nice glowy base. I don't know. I think there are a couple of different shades. I have 901 Fair Glow. So this is going to be more of like a pink kind of undertone. There it is. And I just take a little bit and I focus it mostly on the outer part of my face, so the perimeter area. I have another item that I use for the T-zone, so I'm just gonna massage that in the outer parts of my face here. Now for more of a primer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock. It's an illuminating primer base. I love this. I love the L'Oreal Infallible line. You'll notice I do like a lot of L'Oreal products, and I'm using the Pro Glow foundation. It is my all-time favorite. So I'm gonna go in with this primer, press that in the T-zone. Now, even though it is illuminating, I don't think it exaggerates my pores or texture. You know, you can actually go in with a pore filler, but this just is so smoothing. I love the texture of this, and I didn't actually even show you. I'll put a little bit on my hand so you can see. It's got like a pink creaminess to it. It just feels like a moisturizer, but a little thicker. They actually have the matte version to go along with the matte foundation, so if you are more oily, go in with that. But I love the glow. My face is prepped. It feels so nice and hydrated and glowy. You will notice a lot of these steps are similar to ones that I just did in a Get Ready With Me, like lots of different things. So there are going to be some repeats, but I really wanted this to be a specific base video. And I've done these in the past, but products have always rotated out and changed. And especially in the winter, there are some different things that I am doing, like the Glo-tion. I'm just adding extra layers of glow and hydration. But let's do the foundation. So L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, I'm in the shade 202. It's creamy natural, and it's pretty much the exact color of my skin. I mean, it could not match me more. It's perfection. And I'm not gonna go under the eyes. I'm actually just stopping right here in this, like, almost, I have like a line, like an indentation in that orbital area. And I'm just pressing that in. This foundation also builds very well on itself. So if there's some areas you might need a little more coverage, you can just build right on top of it. It also applies very well with a brush. I just prefer a damp sponge. I just like the control it has. I like to push it into the skin, and that's if I want more of a fuller coverage. If I'm looking for like an everyday, I don't care if every pigmentation is poking through, I'll just use a big buffing brush from Real Techniques, and I'll just do that. But when I have some place to go and I want to kind of cover my trouble spots, ironically enough, the sponge actually is the best way to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and pounce this all over my skin. So we have pretty much the foundation done. I can build up in certain areas, but honestly, I don't mind the little pigmentation poking through. It just makes it look more like skin. I will go in with concealer, and I can hide some of those areas with a little concealer as opposed to just piling on the foundation that might slip and slide throughout the day and kind of move around. So there are a couple things I like to do. One, and actually sometimes I vary the process in which I actually apply it. So sometimes I go in with my It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. I have a little sample because you just need the tiniest amount. A little goes a long way. In the shade medium, it's really going to help cancel out that blueness right there. I have that little crevice that can get so dark, and once that's done, I tell you, it makes a huge difference. So I put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I mean a little bit. There's a tiny little bit amount, and you will see how far this goes. So I use a very dense brush, and I'm gonna just stick that in that area. And if you notice, I'm not taking it down. I'm not doing like a triangle or anything under the eye. I'm taking that all in this little crevice. I mean, do you see that difference? I look so much more awake, and all I did was put a little pea-size amount. One tip if you are using this by Undereye, because I actually hated this product. Hated it. I think in one of my videos I talked about how I didn't even like it. I just didn't understand the hype. But I didn't want to give it up. There are a lot of products that I may change my mind on going either way. I may like it at first and then don't like it, or vice versa. I did not like it and I didn't get the hype. And then I said, you know what, let me give it a chance. You really can't put a lot of this product on. The moment you do, it goes wrong. It does not look good. It's truly a product that will completely change. It will crease. It will look like a hot mess the moment you go too far with this. So when I say, look at that, I still have product here on my hand I have not used, and you saw like a little tiny, not even a pea size, smaller than a pea, like a petite pea or something. And there you go. If I'm doing an everyday makeup and I don't have a lot going on, maybe I just buffed in a little bit of foundation, I'll just do that and go on my way. With whatever's left in the back of my hand, because I don't want to waste, I have a little red spot right there. I have a little freckle that sometimes when that is dark, it makes it look like I have a mustache right there. It creates a shadow and it drives me crazy. Another one that I will sometimes use is the Anastasia concealer. It's not my favorite formula, I have to say. It can crease a lot, but again, little goes a long way. So if I wanted to use this to maybe brighten and use everywhere else, I could just take my sponge, dab it in there, and again, the littlest amount goes a long way. And just kind of take it a little further, you know. I'm going to go ahead and just use a little bit of more of a liquid type of concealer. I like these pot ones and thicker ones for kind of everywhere else on the face. But if I want to kind of brighten up a little bit right here, because I'm still feeling a little sallow, a little bit dark, I like to go in more with like a liquid one, whether it's the Tarte Shape Tape or more affordable one, which is the liquid Camouflage by Catrice. I love this one. I actually did not think it was that great at first, but once I used it a little bit more, it's become one of my favorites. And I'm just going over that area, that little crevice, and this little spot right here. Again, with my little sponge. I'm just gonna pat that in gently. Okay, now for the last step in the base, I'm not going to actually do bronzer, that kind of thing. I'm just showing you more of like the skin part of it. I do want to use some powder. Now, powder can go a little too far and actually just ruin what we've already created with this more glowy, lightweight coverage here. I mean, we're fuller coverage, but we're not masking everything. So powder can ruin that for you. So my little tips are, always apply your powder with a damp sponge. So with my aesthetic sponge, even this little one, they're both damp. And the reason why I like to do that as opposed to a brush is the brush will pack on too much, whereas something damp like this will kind of just really press that in and melt the product into your foundation as opposed to sitting on there. You can also use a powder puff too, but again, I feel like that just goes poof on top and sticks to your foundation and just looks heavier. My favorite powder, and actually I just recently, like last month, picked this up because everyone talks about it. It's been a cult favorite for such a long time, but I never bought it because I was like, it's just a powder. I don't even use that much powder. Do I really need it? I have my RCMA no color powder. I love it. But you know what? It is pretty good, and it's the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I do think this is more of like a skin-like finish. It has a little bit of like a mattifying effect, but it's more skin-like. I kind of think of this as like a loose version of like MAC mineralized skin finish. I also use that, and I love that product, but sometimes I like to have a loose version, and I think this kind of gives that effect. So I just put a little bit in my cap, and actually let me close it back up. So I just usually just go once, and I have a good amount in my cap here. And then if I need a little bit more, I'll just do that again. So whatever's in my cap, which is not a whole lot, as you can see, I take my sponge and I just make sure I don't have any creases under here. So I'm actually gonna start off with a little sponge, and I'm taking just a tiny bit and I'm setting the inner corner. That really helped that little concave section as well. Now, if I felt like I wanted to set more of my face, I'll just go with a larger one, and I'll just take a little bit of that. I'm gonna go in this T-zone area because that's where I tend to get oily. Whatever's left, I take on the like perimeter of my face, because I do go in with powder. I mean, if I'm using all cream products, I wouldn't do that. But this product actually, if I did put a little bit of powder on, like I am doing right now, and then I went with cream, depending on the cream product, I don't have an issue. Now this is definitely makeup that is detectable on the skin. If I were to look up, you can see that I'm wearing makeup, but this is as flawless as I would go. Still don't feel like, I have so much makeup on, my skin's almost itchy, you know that feeling? But I do want to go in with a more dewy setting spray. So I'm going to grab the Found Cosmetics Dewy Makeup Setting Spray. I'm just going to go and spritz that. That is it. That is the step one in the makeup application. Obviously, sometimes you do eyes first and that kind of thing, but I'm kind of doing these in phases. So this would be the foundation, concealer, powder routine that I really enjoy. And I hope those tips were helpful to you. Definitely let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite base products? Foundation, concealer, powder, that kind of thing. What do you find works best for you? Always ask questions down below as well if you have any. And yeah, that's it for me today. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you liked this. And if you are new today and you haven't subscribed, you know where that button lives. And also, don't forget to hit that little bell. That will notify you when I upload my next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.